Hello, Camden. This is Dimitris from MetalKaoz in Chicago. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having us. I'm really excited to chat about the record coming out.
Absolutely. Your face seemed so familiar, more than just the Seven Kingdoms, and I'm sure I have seen you as a tour manager. You look so familiar.
Yeah,
So,
most definitely. I TM and do some merch together, kind of in tandem. So I've been all over. You're from Chicago?
yes.
Yeah. I mean, we hit Chicago. I've been there most recently with working with Vader and then Windrose
Mhm.
this year. So.
So I'm mentioning this not to play that we are familiar with each other, but from your point of view, how much has the touring or the whole scene has changed after the pandemic?
Um, It's changed. Not so much, I guess, touring, but as the promoters have before the pandemic, it was really popular in the U.S. to put like a bunch of local bands on like a show.
Mhm.
And post pandemic, a lot of the promoters are kind of going more of the old school, and it's just the package. So kind of it's gotten a little bit better for the touring bands because there's not six bands on a show, you know what I mean? Kind of sucks for the locals because now they're just, if there's a local band, there's like just like one, like the strongest one versus like four of them or three of them or two of them kind of thing. But that's really all I've noticed. I mean, us in America, I think we've been pretty lucky that like it kind of bounced back. I don't
Mhm.
really, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of the same touring wise. It's just a matter of people are just want to go see concerts again, which is good.
Yeah, yeah. But the only issue that I see as a fan is that we have so many shows right now. It's so difficult to keep up, and you end up choosing what to see and what to miss, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just the metal market is saturated like crazy anyways already. And especially like right now in the fall, like it's actually our tour that we're about to go on was originally in October. And we ran into a problem where like even when I don't even remember, I think we were booking it in like March or February and March. And even then we were having a hard time in October getting the venues were booked. So
Right.
it's, even if they wanted the show, they didn't have the free day. You know what I mean? So I think what happened is we got to the West Coast and pretty much like Los Angeles all the way up to Portland was just like not available. So we ended
Well,
up moving it to November, and that's why we're doing it now.
let's hope the weather will hold up before the
Yeah,
craziness is introduced.
yeah, I'm really hoping. I mean, as long as we can stay like above freezing, like it's great. It's just mostly avoiding the ice and snow, and I'm hoping, and my gut tells me we're going to get lucky this year. I mean, I'm sure we'll deal with it a little bit, but like hopefully it'll be just above freezing, so like everything will melt when the sun comes up.
Now I feel that we may jinx it, so let's stop talking about that.
Yeah, knock on wood.
The Square is the first release via Raining Phoenix Music. First of all, does it make a difference for the band and the way it works when you have a new record deal?
Yeah, I mean, we had a deal with Napalm in 2017. And that was more of a re-release deal. It wasn't for a new record because we had DIY'd Decennium
Mm.
essentially, and then we had already sold a good chunk of our own copies. And then Napalm came back and re-released that along with the back three albums before that because the license was up from the previous record label, Nightmare Records. Um, so it wasn't really like a fresh signing. It was a here's a band that's kind of already got a bunch of like a catalog, essentially a small catalog, and we're re-releasing it. So this is essentially the first time we've been on like it's not a major label, but like a big metal label where we're doing new releases with them. But we're also what's kind of I mean, I guess revolutionary in a little bit of a way is we're still doing the crowdfunding, almost how
Right.
Winter Sun does it. So essentially, we we have a business risk that we're used to and don't want to get rid of, which is doing our own crowdfunding, doing it in conjunction with the record label, and we're lining everything up so it goes out to line up with the record label's wishes, kind of at the same time, like timing wise. But at the same time, they have a lot less risk, like just sheer money up front. Um, because of that, I believe a band like us is a lot more proactive in doing things that maybe a band that gets everything done by the label. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, I don't want to. I'll just do like the top two interviews from the biggest people. Like we do everything. You know, as much as we can get, we want to get as much coverage as possible. I don't care if they're in a closet or sitting at the White House or something. You know what I mean? So it's just, we're a very DIY band, and it's, like I always say, it's like a craft band, like a kind of like small craft brewery or something like that. But that's how we've always done it, and that's how I want to continue to do it. And it's been a huge deal actually having RPM on board promotion wise
Yeah.
specifically, because that's more of the focus that we wanted. Is the record label is there to distribute and then to promote the record, and they've done a phenomenal job. Actually, I mean, I just told Curtis and all the team over there, like I was so happy with it. It's honestly like night and day from this label from the last one. I mean, they've done so much for us that we haven't had done for us previously with any other partners.
However,
So
the experience you have gained, you have run three campaigns, right? Crowdfunding.
actually we did In the Walls EP, we did Decennium, we did the Empty Eyes, which is an EP. We did Go Rodeo, which was a single during COVID. We did Zenith,
Yeah, and
and
now,
then we did and then the Square. So we've done six of them.
oh crap! I'm sorry
Yeah,
for.
that's what I'm saying. So it's just like it's kind of like I don't want to not do it because we know it so well, and like I'm actually able to gauge as long as the metrics, as long as we tour after the crowdfund and we still continue to grow, I can almost gauge exactly what we're gonna do, like with the growth spurt. Like I'm a spreadsheet nerd. So like I'm pretty good with judging what we need versus what we're gonna get and this and that. So and luckily, we always go a little bit above what the goals are. So, but that's also part of the game is just to know what you have available and not to overextend yourself, I guess, on the crowdfund, but also leave room for surprises. You know what I mean? Good ones.
Yeah,
So,
but it still involves a lot of work because you have to create extra content. You have to be in contact with the fan base. You have to do all these
yeah,
things.
yeah. No, it's a lot of extra work. I mean,
Yeah.
but like at the same time, like it gives us something that not a traditional band will do. You know what I mean? At some point it's gonna start getting difficult. I mean, it's already kind of getting that point. Like when we do, especially like the next record, like when like the vinyl and the CD and all the shirts show up, like my house is destroyed. And
Mm.
then it's just like, I'm actually we're in the process of well, not in the process, but soon in the next year or so, I'm actually trying to build a building to house like my office and then just the racks of merch. You know what I mean? Just so it's not in our home like when we get there. But it's just that's personal money, but it's an investment in our future. You know what I mean? Because I want to be kind of the hub for
Yeah.
the U.S. You know what I mean? In conjunction with say a record label. You know what I mean? Because that's
So it
that's
means that you will be
yeah.
expanding more than Seven Kingdoms. You're planning to do something more than that, right?
Well, so the building I want to have is actually going to be the one side of it is going to be a mock stage because we're about to in the next year or so we're going to start buying lighting and owning that rather than renting it. And then essentially, like, since we run off of like click and a track and a laptop, you can, like once you hit play, you can design floor lights, not necessarily the ones up top, but the floor lights, like simple stuff. You know what I mean? Like 4 to 10 strobes. You know what I mean? A couple little
Mhm.
movers. You can pre-program all that stuff on the floor so you don't have to bring a light guy, but then it kind of looks like you have a show that's like blinking and stuff on time. So that's a big step that we're getting ready to do, but you have to have the mock stage
Right.
in order to like measure everything, and then you have to sit there in with everything set up and then design it and sit there and like click until it's perfect. You know what I mean? So it's for that. It's also for that stage would also be used for streaming. We do a lot of Twitch stuff. as I'm saying, the building's like just a hub, and it'll help us increase over the next 10 years our productivity, and it'll bring another level of lights, rehearsals, streaming, and then also in front of that will be all of the merch racks, so I can get my guest room back. And
That's
then yeah, also maybe a place to sleep for someone, the boys or something when they're here. So I mean, it's an investment, but I mean, it's our life, and that's kind of my goal right now is to build that for ourselves.
I'm gonna go a little bit off script just for 1 minute. I wonder if AI has gotten into the designing of the light show, as you said. I wonder if there is a piece of software that can assist in that, kind of letting you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think that AI has hit lights yet. I
Mm.
think maybe it's hitting some form of the audio production. Like I know there's AI programs that'll take like the vocals out of a song better than some other programs. So you can make like karaoke tracks or something like that.
Okay.
But I don't know if the AI is at that point in time. I mean, the best thing though is to hand design it the way that you want, and then you just hit save,
Right,
and then it
right.
goes with the track. You know what I mean? So I mean AI is in the art, but obviously we don't utilize any AI in the band. I mean, there's going to be a point in time where everybody is going to use it at some point. You know what I mean? I mean, what's the word? Ethicality. I don't know, but all the ethics and stuff aside, 20 years from now, everyone's going to be using AI in some form or another. So it's just like it's a matter of just time, really. I mean, we don't really use a bunch of it yet, but I know that there's been a bunch of hoopla with some of the bands that have tried to use it, and even if they use it ethically, it's someone's going to get mad. But I think that's just kind of the way it is. It's going to go. I mean, you're never going to be able to appease everybody, even when you try to do it the right way. Like someone's just going to get mad. So it's just we haven't really used it at all yet. So because of that, so it's
You know
just
what?
it's a
It boils to this. If the band can still play this stuff live, then to
yeah.
me, it's okay. It's just a
Yeah,
tool.
yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I see it. We just haven't I haven't found an area in our whole model yet where we're using some sort of AI, but I'm sure it's going to come at some point.
Yeah. So, did you have the EP kind of ready before you signed with RPM?
Yeah, actually, we were completely done with the EP before the Kickstarter done. I mean, as far as like the artwork and the music,
Mm-hmm.
that was all completed before the Kickstarter happened. And then after the Kickstarter, I think I went on tour with Windrose first, and then as soon as I got back from that, we did the music videos because I knew the RPM thing was happening, and we were getting all the like the deal and just the ins and outs of that were happening. So the videos came as that deal was happening, and then they wanted to, it takes a long time to like once you do the deal, then you have to deal with the major distribution company. So you have the label, and then you have the distribution company the label uses, and then like the distribution company is like gigantic because all the labels use like the orchard. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like the label has to find the hole to be able to put it through the food chain in the orchard. So like it's getting the label to do their thing, and then getting the label to find the time in the orchard takes time. And then also we wanted to line it up with the tour. So essentially, like the EP's coming out on the 8th, and then we start tour on the 9th. So it's the first time we've ever had it line up like bam like that with a tour. And then we have the Europe tour a couple months later. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's funny because it's just an EP, but we're using this as a trial run for the full album that'll come next winter. And that's like probably almost half written already. So this is the EP is actually pieces of what we've written for a full album. So
So that was actually my next question. How many songs do we expect to see from the originals? Do we expect to see from the EP in the album?
it's up to the fans actually. So we are VIP and level and up on the Kickstarter. There's probably 30, maybe 40 people that are in that level and up. They're going to have the exclusive right to we wanted to kill two of the original songs. There's four original songs, so we wanted to kill two of them, and then two would carry on. But I think the All right, it'll give me thumbs up maybe. But we wanted to kill two of the songs so that way two of the like ones that aren't they basically the two that get the most votes go to the album and they'll get a remaster with the other album. But I have a feeling that we're going to offer to keep all four of them and then do another 8 to 10 songs with that. So they'll be featured with a remaster because it's going to be tough for them to kill these songs, and they've already started complaining about it. So we're looking anywhere between probably 12 to 14 songs on the album, but it depends on how many from the EP make it.
So you are
But that's
going.
what it is. It's going to be totally it's their choice. That's part of their perks as being VIPs and backers is, they're executive decision makers and get a vote. So, it's up to them.
Are you pushing the record for a double vinyl? No.
All the records that we've done that we've had power to produce our vinyls are all double vinyls. So Zenith or Decennium was a double vinyl. Zenith was a double vinyl. And yeah, I mean, I always do double vinyl, so I don't really do one. If I print it, or like I being the band, and if we print it, it's a double vinyl. If the label prints a variant, maybe it'll be a single. But the version that'll come with our crowdfund will be a double vinyl for sure.
My
A
apologies, I didn't
sick
know
double vinyl. Yeah,
that. Okay, so it seems like in order to run the crowdfunding, in order to run all of this, you have a timetable in front of you. So you said the next year the album will come out, right?
that's the goal so far.
Okay. Have you decided on the concept? Because at least the videos are connected.
Yeah, so it's funny. Historically, you have a limit of time and money, and
Always.
and so essentially that goes with that. So we the lyrics for instance, we connected the square through these waves with the music videos, but they're not necessarily. I mean, I guess they could be loosely connected lyrically, but they were originally not designed that way.
Mm.
But we essentially when we have to cut 4 video or 5 videos because we try to do a video for every song. So it's like, what can we do with this budget? What can we shoot two in the same setting? How do you connect it? You know what I mean? And can you
Yeah.
connect it? You know what I mean? So it becomes like its own little project, actually. I mean, I'm sure if we had more time and money, like it would get deeper, I guess. You know what I mean? We just have time and budget to do that. But for instance, like the video that's coming out, Wilted Pieces, on the 8th, that's going to drop when the album comes out, like that's completely different from the other ones. Like that was done at a place called Selfie World Extreme in Orlando. And it's just a really wild looking video, and I like it as it's my favorite one out of all the ones we've done so far. So that's it's completely different. Sabrina looks totally different. Like she's in her stage outfit with all the fancy diamonds and stuff like that. So it'll be fun to see people kind of like got into the pace of the first two, and then whack, here's something really different. So, but we don't really try to do. We haven't done like a really deep concept right now. Unleashed Archers is really like into very concept style stories throughout the whole, song. But I'm not sure that's the kind of band that we are. We really enjoy doing like we call them the one-off bangers. So it's just like, each song has its own meaning and maybe they're loosely connected with a mood or a feeling or an overall picture, but not necessarily like chapters in a story. Like I know that the square, for example, has a really deep astrology meaning with Sabrina's kind of with the concept. And then like all of those songs are like little pieces of essentially she would be able to explain this a lot easier, but like the problem of a planet squaring one another in someone's life. So it's like each song is like kind of going through a different aspect of astrology, but essentially like it's not like chapters. It's like just a general picture, and then here's this story, here's that story, and so on and so forth.
I was watching the videos and I was trying to make a connection between the book Sabrina is holding and the cover artwork of the EP. So I was thinking, is this the cover of the book, or is there any connection?
There's no connection whatsoever,
Damn
but
it.
I'm glad that you thought about it because that's I mean that's legit like part of the budget. It's like we're not the biggest band in the world, and of course we're not. But like, what do? It's like, oh, we have an old book on the cover. Like we spent $50 on a sick Amazon aged book. You know what I mean? That's going to end up on the crowdfund next year. But like it looks good. It's kind of part of it. You know what I mean? People can kind of make that connection, but it's not exactly it. You know what I mean? So that's literally all part of it's part of the budget and getting as close as you can with the time and money that you have.
You just destroyed the magic, man. That's what I'm gonna say.
It's okay. It's just reality, brother.
What about the cover? That was an interesting cover, to be honest. How did you have a couple of more than a couple songs to choose from? Why did you pick that particular?
The cover song.
Um,
so actually, on the crowdfund, we have a pick the cover perk. So what happens is whoever buys that perk, they submit a list of 10 songs and we choose with them which one we think we can do the best. And Kiri was on that list. And after listening to the selection that we were given, we thought that one would be really cool. Jim Morris, our producer guy and the engineer, it's like he's also like, he's family to us, but like, he's really into like old 80s prog rock. So he was like, oh man, like I can't wait to get my hands on that. So he made all the keyboard sounds for us, and we got really lucky with that.
So you said 10. What was the song that you said that the band said immediately no?
Oh, I'd have to go through it. Man, I have to find the list, but there was a bunch that were like, no, can't do that, can't do that, can't do that. There was a couple, we almost did Loving Every Minute of It from Loverboy.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. We really like that song because it's just, I don't know, it's really funny and catchy. But that was on the list. But this was kind of a standout, really. Like once you heard it, it's like that's the one. And
Okay.
actually, every cover that we've ever done, minus the Boys of Summer cover, was fan selected on a list like that.
Love it. So you mentioned the North American tour that is coming up, and that ends on December 8th, right?
Yes.
Do you have anything on the calendar after that?
Yeah. So
This year.
no, after the December 8th, I'm gonna turn my phone off and spend some time at home. Hopefully, I mean, unless there's like interviews or some real band stuff, but I'm looking forward to just having time at home and being off. Because I mean, this will be my 6th tour for this year. I mean, just because I'm working, I did the Vader tour, I did the Windrose tour, I did Unleash the Archers with Powerwolf. I just got home from Europe with Windrose and Powerwolf. Actually, the 5th tour, and then this will be the 5th tour for the year. So I try to not do more than like 5 or 6 because then you're just gone for so long. And then as the band starts touring more, I'm going to be working less for, as a TM. So essentially, we'll see how it goes as we grow.
You are in a constant jet lag state, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the jet lag is worse going from US over to Europe than Europe back to the United States. So like, that's bad that one day you travel from Europe, like back home because it's a long day, but then like you're tired at 10 o'clock at night. And then it actually resets my clock because I'm able to get up earlier after going to Europe. But then now I'm just like, oh, like I'm going to be going on stage at like 10 o'clock and I'm already starting to fall asleep. So I'm slowly starting to like try to stay up a little bit later as we get prepared for it. So, but it's good. I'm looking forward to that. We have, and then we have Europe with Unleash the Archers and Striker in February and March. We're waiting for another show that could potentially happen. I hope it does. We're just waiting on the offer. And then, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things up in the air, especially over the last couple of weeks, that will probably happen. Maybe it'd be awesome if they do, but I can't really discuss those yet.
The offer that you mentioned is what side of the Atlantic is it?
This side.
Okay, that's fair.
It's hopefully it's actually in the Atlantic.
Oh, got it. Last question, and if it sound out of I don't know, out of line, please correct me. So I have to ask, how did the Burger Queen nickname came to be?
Yeah, so Sabrina, back, I don't know if you're familiar with the Metal Female Voices Festival in
I
Belgium.
am, yes.
So a long time ago, after the first time we went to Europe with Stradivarius and Amaranth in 2012, Sabrina went back to Belgium a couple times for that festival as part of the Eve's Apple crew. And they had like 25, 30, 40 girls that got on stage and did like stuff, but there were sponsors that paid for all the plane flights and stuff like that. So it started there because she was wearing her slippers, and she likes cheeseburgers in general. And so, like, I think she got some as like a gag for Christmas, but she wore them all the time. So she was wearing them backstage. And I think actually Clementine and another girl
Vision of a
dared
Tribe.
her,
Uh,
yeah, I dared her a long time ago to wear them on stage there, and then it stuck. So like literally after that, everybody was like, "Oh, like where's your burger slippers?" Blah blah blah. And then like as ridiculous as it sounds, like I mean, it it made people talk, and like honestly, like it at one point in time, like if you like it or don't like it, you're still talking about it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the play for a band at one point is like it's kind of that like all press is good press kind of thing. As long as you're not like doing something terrible. And I don't think the burger slippers are terrible.
no,
So
man,
like,
come on.
and it's just like we're not really like the like covered in spikes and leather band. You know what I mean? So it's just like we want people to have a good time when they come see us. And there's not another band doing it. So I mean, mine is like Max Sabbath, but that's a complete different thing. You know what I mean? But it's her thing, and it's given her a crown, and we plan to keep it.
So this does not make you the Burger King, although that title is stolen.
No, I'm just I'm just like a guardian, I guess, of the queen.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, yeah,
Camden,
I'm
thank you
okay
very
with that.
much. Thank you very
Hey,
much.
no problem. Yes,
And
sir.
see you here in Chicago in November.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, awesome, man. I can't wait for that show. Looking forward to playing at Reggie's.
Absolutely. Have safe travels and yeah, stay safe and find the time to take a rest
Yeah,
after.
definitely. Soon as we get home safely.
Absolutely. My best to the rest of the band.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time.
Have a great evening. Bye.
You too.
Bye bye.
See ya.